playing in a test environment. So this is a very controlled environment where we can show off some of the different ways in which the game will behave.
And you'll see interesting things like the fact that the game is set to last for 5 hours, which is not reasonable normally, but that's what clues you into it's a
These are
development
all for the purposes of science and demonstration. So Lars, you have a captive audience here. We're locked in what we call an educational ceasefire.
Yep.
So exactly what would you like for our Warlock combatants to demonstrate right now?
So the first thing I want to do is have the other team kill everyone but the main person we're watching right now. So they're going to knock everyone else down, see some thorn shots.
There we go.
We'll talk
and
about later.
ceasefire.
Okay, ceasefire now. Now we're going to have Victor, our guy behind the scenes. He's wearing Light Beyond Nemesis, which is the fast revive exotic.
Yep.
You'll notice a couple things there. First of all, he had to go in a little closer to get the revive. It took a little bit longer. And the other thing you just saw there, which Victor was trying to show us, is that even with the fast revive exotic, like Light Beyond Nemesis or Cresta Alpha Lupi, you can no longer sprint revive.
Okay.
So that's a big change for Trials players.
Okay. So we're going to just give some extemporaneous commentary as these players duke it out. So on my mark, we will commence the fighting. Just ready, aim, fire! Okay, and have at it, everyone. And look at that, he's down right away. So we have our Warlocks. They're duking it out on skirmish. Reviving each other is a huge part of this game type, as the other game types you mentioned, 3v3 game types.
Yep.
So what was the essential design motivation that prompted you to make the changes to the way the revive works?
So, you know, we were seeing some really interesting things when people were doing revives, and we wanted to sort of make it a little bit more risk versus reward. So that's why we made some changes, like the overshield you get is a little less powerful now, the shield that you get when you revive and then you get revived. And the other thing we've done is we've taken in the distance a little bit and made it a little bit longer to do the actual revive itself. So you have to get a little bit closer. It takes you a little bit longer, and that's the major change.
Okay.
And then the other thing that we did that you're not going to see in this current game is in Trials, we added 2 seconds to the revive timer. So there's that timer that won't allow you to be revived by your teammate once you first go down. And normally that's 5 seconds.
Okay.
And then when you go down in that round, we add another 5 seconds. So what we did is we added 2 seconds onto that. Does that make sense?
So I get killed. My teammates have to wait for 7 full seconds before they can revive me.
And then if you die again, we add an additional 7 seconds. So the second time you die in a round, it would be 14 seconds.
And then 21, and then so on.
Correct.
Get out your slide rules or memorize your multiplication
Start doing
tables.
math.
I really wish I'd paid more attention in math. But, you know.
The basics are that it's going to take you a little bit longer. You're going to have to be a little bit closer. You're not as strong when you come out of a revive.
Okay.
The overshield is a little less.
Yeah.
All of those things together with the additional time, it makes revive more of a choice. You know, you can still revive someone in a bad situation. We can't stop people from doing that. However, we can make it, you know, a little more painful.
So there's so many different sources of information that we can use to arrive at, you know, the inspiration for these changes. We've got data from our user research team as to how people play in the game environment. We've got the anecdotal feedback from members of our community. People like M. Tasht, who we met down in Los Angeles.
Very kind gentleman.
Yes, he's a gentleman and a fierce competitor, and he shared with us some of his own personal feedback about how he felt Revive could work a little bit better and be a little less detrimental to the combat meta in Trials of Osiris. So maybe a good way to see how this behaves in Trials of Osiris is to put a price on that guy's head. So we're going to call it right now, M. Tasht. If you're in chat, we are putting a price on your head. We are putting a bounty on you for the upcoming Trials of Osiris that will happen after we deploy the April update. So April update lands on Tuesday. That's April 12th. The following Trials of Osiris will be April 15th, and we are going to go in and hold court, and we'll see how the new revive mechanics work, and we'll get some of your insights as to how you think the new combat meta plays out. I'm going to put M. Tasht into the community seat. We'll leave it up to you to choose who represents Bungie.
Okay,
and,
that sounds good.
We'll see if we can carry him to the lighthouse.
Yeah. Well, he's He's probably going to be doing the
maybe
carrying.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let's make sure that we don't equip him with with lead anchors, and we'll give him some good teammates, and we'll see how all that plays out. And then, of course, in addition to user research data or anecdotal player feedback, there's also our own personal experiences in playing.
Yeah, absolutely. When we play the game ourselves at home, we listen to the feedback, we read the forums, we get internal feedback. We play test all the time. We play test every day, and we're in this really great position internally where we can make changes. We did a lot of different things to revive before we got to where we solved it for the April update. But it is, it's a continuing thing, right? We play the game constantly, we get feedback, and we try and make the best changes that we can, and then put it out there and again, listen to your feedback and see how those changes are going.
This is a perfect segue to the next thing I think we should talk about. We have certainly encountered a lot of feedback about the changes that we have made to the ammunition economy. So here's a sniper rifle. There was a sniper rifle. There's a sniper rifle. And
which one is that?
Appears to be a Vanguard weapon.
Yes.
Could be 1,000-yard stare. The eponymous and ever constant.
We won't talk about that gun. We'll let
John Wisniewski talk about that gun. But that Warlock had special ammo on its character, and we changed the way a lot of that behaves in the game. I understand you're changing it again.
Yeah.
So what's up?
So we went through some really interesting changes internally, and we started talking about when we released the last update, and we made it so that special didn't spawn with the character in the 3v3 modes.
Yep.
What we saw, was that the community is going to use anything at their disposal to get around some of those rules, and we have exotics that get around those rules, and immediately that became the way to play.
Icebreaker,
sidearms,
okay.
And those are things those are inherent to Destiny, and they're good things in Destiny. And what we wanted to do is take a step back and go, okay, is there another way that we can control the special ammo economy that isn't, and the heavy ammo economy, which we'll talk about in a second, that doesn't do those kinds of things so players have to use exotics to get, or a sidearm or
Give
whatever.
them options, let them choose their ideal loadout.
Exactly,
Okay.
And so starting with this update, across the board, we made changes everywhere with the exception of Elimination and Mayhem. We've made it so that you spawn with special ammo everywhere. So, sorry, I take that back. You do spawn with special ammo in Elimination as well, but across the board, you spawn in every game type with special ammo at the beginning again, like we previously had it.
So if you're in the Crucible, at the top of the match, you get special ammo.
Correct.
Okay, so
everywhere.
Our original idea was that we didn't want snipers spawn killing people right off the starting line.
Right.
What's our philosophy on that now?
So the interesting thing is, because of Icebreaker, we couldn't actually control that specific thing.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to do was try and control it in a different way. So now special ammo comes in much later into the match.
Yeah.
So it comes in 3 minutes in. You'll see the special ammo crates around as we're looking at this match that's going on right now. Special ammo comes in 3 minutes in, and then it comes 2 minutes after the fact.
Okay.
And that, in combination with all of the things we did with the Sandbox team, John, he's going to be on next talking about the specific things they did on the weapon side, the things that we did on our side to control the ammo, having it come in 3 minutes in, having the box then spawn additionally 2 minutes later, means that there's less special ammo in the match period.
So choose your weapon carefully, choose your shots carefully.
And we do find that if you're using, when we playtest internally, when you're using these changes and you're using a special ammo or a special weapon, you find that you have less of that ammunition now pretty consistently, and you're thinking, you continually have that thought, oh, I don't have special right now, I need to go seek it out. When is the next box going to drop?
Sure. Okay, so talk to me about heavy. How's heavy different?
So heavy is another thing that we, across the board, we wanted to, again, make it feel the same no matter where you go in the Crucible. It's going to behave similarly. So heavy only comes in once a match now.
Really?
It comes in at the 5-minute mark.
Okay.
And then it never comes back.
So you get one chance.
One chance.
You get one
heavy.
taste.
And so what we see with that, which has been really healthy, is that if you do have, a very powerful heavy, Harold Coulom's Terminus, for example. John will talk about in a second what he's done on his side. Again, we worked with the Sandbox team to make changes not just on our side to control the ammo economy, but those guys as well to control how ammo behaves in the weapons themselves.
Yep.
We wanted to sort of tamp down that stuff and not have heavy continually come back. Now again, if you're a fan of Mayhem, we're not touching Mayhem, how Mayhem comes in pretty continuously. We're leaving that alone because Mayhem is Mayhem.
It's just designed to be explosive.
Yeah,
it's designed to be exactly what you called it.
Pure chaos.
Pure mayhem.
That's what we want. But everywhere else in the Crucible, we wanted heavy to only show up the one time. Again, that doesn't affect elimination or trials. So that still comes, when it comes.
And that is
once the first team to reach 3 wins, the heavy will show up,
and
then it never
round.
comes back again.
It never comes back again.
Correct.
Never going to get it. Okay. And then as this round comes to completion, we'll see them enter the post game. We'll see them look at their post game Carnage report and see what rewards they get. Talk to us about what a Crucible warrior can expect from the Crucible all up in terms of how rewarding an experience it is.
Yeah, so we've heard the comments. We know that the legendary stream was a little light. We've increased legendaries across the board in all of the Crucible, and that's beyond what we're doing everywhere else. So the Crucible, like you said at the top of the show, is going to be a more rewarding place. Now we're not going to change the way this screen behaves necessarily, and these are new characters, so we'll see. Awesome!
This is a
Nothing
test environment.
It's a test environment. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But people should know that they're going to be seeing more legendaries.
Okay.
There's a bunch of things they can do to get themselves up to 335.
Okay.
So playing the Shacks, the Shacks weekly bounties,
yeah.
completing that each week will get you to something that drops up to 335.
Okay. Up to 335.
Up to 335.
And point of clarification, last week we talked about the fact that the weekly featured Crucible activity is one of the ways in which you can get one of the new Sterling treasure boxes. So in the lower left-hand corner of your director, on the top level of your director, there's always a weekly featured activity, an invitation to say, come play Control or Rift or what have you. So if you play one match of that activity, you get a Sterling treasure box. But
That's
also,
cool.
yeah,
Okay.
nice, right? Yeah, here, have some,
have some treasure.
Have some treasure, have some loot. Then if you go and interact with Shax, he's got his own quest line.
Yep.
It refreshes on a weekly basis. That's more of an investment.
Yeah. It is. It takes a little longer, and that's true.
It's
but the people who really enjoy doing the Shacks weekly, we wanted there to be a way outside of Trials, outside of Iron Banner, that was a weekly place for you to get drops up to 335. And the Shacks weekly is the way to do that.
Okay. Talk to me about some of the other endgame activities that can also get a player to 335.
So Trials of Osiris will get you up there. The wonderful treasure chest that's on Mercury. If you get to Mercury, we've also opened up what you can get from the Mercury chest now. I believe it drops armor and weapons, and those will drop up to 335. So, and then the bounties themselves will drop up to 330. So if you do the bounties, they will drop up to 330. Treasure chest will drop up to 335.
Yes.
And the other thing we've done with Trials is we allowed you to repeat on a daily basis the, I think it's called His Eye Upon You bounty. We should fact check that in the patch notes, but one of the bounties, you'll be able to do it every day. So you can keep going back each day. If you love playing Trials, and that, again, the Trials bounty stuff can drop up to 330. So that's another good way to keep playing.
Iron Banner.
Iron Banner, we've made some good changes there as well. We've looked at how the economy works. I believe Jeremiah, who is our resident Iron Banner expert, he removed the legendary engrams out of the stream. So now, if you were supposed to get a legendary engram, you'll now get an Iron Banner drop instead. We wanted to make it all about the Iron Banner gear that's dropping, so that's what you're going to be getting. At the rank 3 and the rank 5 packages, you're still guaranteed to get an artifact and a ghost, and now those are 320. So they will drop at 320. So if you haven't gotten up to 320 yet, you're going to get a guaranteed 320 artifact and ghost just from getting to rank 5 in the next Iron Banner.
And then if I get my rank 5 package, that stuff will drop up to
335. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
And the last thing, I think people have talked about this a lot. I've seen on the forums. There was a bounty that required 2,500 points and a win, and now that is 1,500 points and a match completion.
Okay.
So it'll be much easier to get, and we've heard you. We're sorry, but we're making changes to make the experience better.
Never be sorry about making the game better.
Wow.
So.
Sure.
That all sounds like good stuff to me. I certainly love the Crucible. I'm not amazing in there, but I've got a full set of Iron Banner gear, so
You're looking good.
yeah, I'm feeling good, Lars. I'm feeling good. Here, let's have another
Toast.
sip of room temperature
Room
water.
temperature water.
And is there anything else you would tell our audience about changes to the overall Crucible?
You know, there's probably too many to go into on this stream. The
Of course.
patch notes will be coming in the next day or so, right?
What we'll do is we will, we'll certainly do a recap of this show, and we'll have a few additional details on the Bungie blog tomorrow, and then we will on April 12th.
Gotcha. Okay.
When the April update deploys, we will certainly have the customary patch notes, and people who love to pour through the changes that we've made and pick through it with a fine comb. Can go through and they can see every last little bullet
Yeah,
point.
and there's a lot of I could spend 2 hours talking about the changes we made, but it's better to.
It just doesn't sound like a very entertaining stream. We don't have that much room temperature water, man.
No, we don't.
Okay.
But there's a ton of good details in the patch notes, things that I glossed over. You'll get much more detailed notes on those.
Well, as the show says, this is an April update preview, so that's a good glimpse at some of the different things that you've done.
Yeah.
I'll thank you on behalf of the people that tweet at us and talk to us on those forums for caring about their opinions and factoring that into your process. So hopefully this improves your Crucible lifestyle, and as always, we'll be listening to the way you react and respond to these things. I'm going to thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thanks, Deej.
Thank you for all the hard work that you put into this, as always.
Yeah.
And we're not done. Coming up just after this station break is we're going to have designer John Wisniewski come out and talk about the arsenal in Destiny and how a lot of the different weapons that you love to use or hate to get killed by are about to go back to the workbench and be adjusted in the interest of balance. So enjoy some gameplay. And we're going to welcome yet another subject matter expert to the couch right now. We'll be back in just a few seconds. Watch them fight.